We live.
We're
How
live.
you doing?
Pretty good. What's going on, Gene?
I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
Awesome. Yes, yes. Doing well. It's really great to see you today. That's a great background right there. I gotta get one of those pictures. That's awesome right there. I like that. Make me want to get away for a little while.
Come on down anytime you're ready.
Yeah, I just know that's a great space, man. I like this. Yeah. But it's really good to see you. This is actually Gene Byass, everybody. He's actually your wizard when it comes to life insurance policies, the different forms of annuities, actually showing us the ins and outs of actually, protecting the family values and the family structures that's out here, and actually using the bills that we have to really position ourselves in the future. So I just want to introduce you to Gene. Gene gonna say a few words. We're gonna get right into the interview, and really hope everybody enjoy this. It's I just hopeful for you, and you got to get some real valuable information out of this podcast. The floor is yours,
Good,
Gene.
good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone out there that's listening and looking. Do appreciate your time and energy. I hope that you learned something from this podcast. Our host tonight, Mr. Evans, I do appreciate you inviting me to do this podcast
Definitely.
with you and enlightening the public at large as to um, my knowledge and expertise in life insurance and the annuity industry. So, again, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad to share. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Mr. Nathan, if it's okay with you,
Definitely.
I can
Definitely.
pay my advert so they can get the information to get in touch with me.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody that need to get in touch with Gene, actually
Anybody
work with
needs to get in
me,
touch with me, they'll
and
know.
actually be able to go through my page as well. So my first question, I really want people to get involved with this and understand why this is so important. I know we hear about life insurance a lot, but I've been following Gene for a while. I've heard a lot of people talk about life insurance, but never in the way that Gene talks about life insurance, the way they express life insurance, the empathy that actually comes with that, and the compassion and the understanding of actually why it's so essential. Many people could speak to you about life changes, but when I look at Gene and I listen to what Gene's story is talking about, it's showing that we have to really start repositioning ourselves in society and using the tools at hand, to actually improve ourselves and also our families. So with that, my first question with Gene is, why is life important? Why is life insurance important in these times?
Well, that's a great question. Um, Life insurance is important these times because generally the statistics have shown that 70% of American families will be bankrupt within months, and
Mm,
that's 2 to 3 months, should there be an unexpected loss of the primary breadwinner. So, having a life insurance and being able to protect your family against an unexpected event is where life insurance come in to cover those shortfalls.
so it's basically not just looking at life insurance from when somebody's passing away, but looking at life insurance in real time as we actually live in our lives, and actually using the components of life insurance to safeguard us, safeguard our households and our financial structure. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Well, what I'm saying is that people may have a mortgage, people may have rent, and they are the breadwinner of that family. Now, that family lost that income. Yeah. They might
Mm-hmm.
be having their retirement income or college planning for a future all affected and disrupted because of the premature loss of that special loved one who provide that financial support to that family.
Yeah, so it also it's kind of like beating a dead horse. But my next question was, are families able to build effective lives without life insurance?
Well, depends on the type of family you're speaking about. Um, if we're talking about a rich family, not really. They're probably self-insured.
Mm,
But even the rich have life insurance. Okay, life insurance is a good vehicle that is used to save and to protect. The life insurance is used to save and to protect your family in times of real need. Not just need, but real need. When something catastrophic happens, then you need money to
yeah,
get you out of that situation. And we all know that money is very important, especially in this day and age. Gone are
yeah.
the
We
days
seen
we put
it.
that out. You don't want to put the burden, and no offense to GoFundMe pages or anyone that have done that or go and do that.
Yeah,
But
true.
when it's putting a burden onto the community, okay, it's only about so far that will go.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Sometimes you make your target number, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you barely get over the hurdle to make the target number. But what happens? Where is life after death? How does your family live? What happens thereafter? So there is some concerns there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, and that leads me actually to my next question was, why should people take out life insurance on their children and their babies?
Okay, I will say this to you. I am a true believer. I've done it for my children. I've done it for my grandchildren, and I'll continue to do it until the end of time. Okay? That I will take out a life insurance on a child because I believe in protecting families. Okay? Babies do die.
Yes, yes,
Young adults do die. There is no set clock time that says when a person is going to expire.
yeah. It's basically like that young kid that actually just died, and I guess one of the amusement parks, he fell off the ride, right? Something like that actually can take place and unawares. There's no way to prepare for a situation like that. You actually went there to have a good time, enjoying your family. You had some nice food, nice drinks, entertainment, music. I was laughing, joking, and that one ride basically changed everything for that family. That major loss. It's a good thing that they do have another avenue as far as getting a lawsuit, because of the incident. But
It takes time.
yeah, yeah, it takes time too.
It takes time for that lawsuit to be settled. What do you do with the body between that time? How do you tell a grieving parent that they don't have the money to take care of the final remains of their loved one? How do you tell a father that you have to wait until the judge hear the lawsuit if the responsible party don't take the responsibility or accept liability of the loss?
Mhm.
So there are so many things that we can look at and think about um, regarding it. I think that we should have a sense of what can happen. Life happens at any age.
At any
You can be
time, yeah.
going down the road. We just had a situation I was looking at in Atlanta. An 11-year-old child was shot in a skating rink. He just went to skate, have a little
Yeah,
bit of fun,
yeah,
and next thing he's coming out in a body bag.
yeah.
You
Another one I
how
seen.
devastating is that for that parent that
Yeah,
took that child to the skating rink or allowed that child to go to the skating rink and then receive the child back instead of coming home to have dinner or having a shower or having how did it go to the skating rink? So, oh my God, he's no longer here. We got to start planning the funeral.
that's correct. That's correct. And these
Where do we
are
start?
these are changing times, and these are times where people really have to basically like project, project realities, project futures for themselves to make sure that they're basically not thrown under the bus or disregarded, as a family unit. If one person was to pass away or catastrophe was to take place within the family structure. I know you mentioned that children do die, and and babies do die, but is life insurance just about children dying, or is it can it also protect children while they're alive as well?
Well, that's true. It protects children while they're alive. No, no one in the that I know of, and I don't say it doesn't exist with modern medicine. You may have a child and the child born normal. The child might live 5, 10 years and turn up with lupus or some sort of blood cancer or something like that. And that child become terminally ill, and the doctor give the child, what do you say, 12 months to live, 6 months to live, whatever. Yeah. The life insurance policy pays out the death benefit immediately as long as there's a prediction, and you don't have to repay back that money. As long as there's a
Yeah,
presumption that death is imminent, then the life insurance pays out that money. Equally so,
and
that
that's a good thing to
child,
know.
yes, that child may be, I don't know, say 15 years old, 16 years old, and the child is determined to have a heart condition or got a stroke or got some sort of cancer. The child is not able to dress themselves, eat, bath, become incontinent, can't use a toilet by themselves. Two of those things make them chronically ill. So you have critical, chronic, terminal illnesses, okay, that the life insurance is able to cover. And you could either leave the child in the hospice or in the hospital, or you can bring the hospice or the hospital home by having that child services funded from the life insurance, the living benefit element of the life insurance. So no, you don't have to
Mm.
die in order to collect
Uh,
life insurance.
and that's a good point. The living benefit, the living benefit of that child, even an elder, stuff like that. Even younger people, you could be 40 years old and catch a terminal illness, and you're going to need to be safeguarded. So I think that is really good to actually look at life insurance not just as a death benefit, but also as a life benefit. And I think that's a really great point. My next question would be basically similar too, but it's actually what is the power of life insurance and how could it be used in these modern times?
Life insurance is very powerful. It's a very powerful tool, and I think everyone should have life insurance. I'm a true believer of it. This is the most vulnerable time in life. Okay, most vulnerable times in life. The stock markets are vulnerable. The crypto market is very vulnerable. There's a number of different avenues that people look at in terms of investment. Okay, the real estate market is out the roof.
Yeah, it is.
So the real question is, where is the right place to put your money? Where the most secure way to put your money? The place to put your money, in my opinion, at this point in time, given inflation the way it is, and all the changes happening in the economy, is in a IUL policy, Index Universal Life Policy. You cannot save in a bank and get between 6 to 10% interest rate. No way can you do that putting your money in the bank. Okay, um, there's no way you're able to save money and get a rate of return on your money like it would if you put it in the bond market, and that's where your money is invested with the insurance companies.
Awesome. That's a good point. So you actually looking at a different return of investment than actually the banks, but also having more control over your finances. If things actually were to take place and you ever have a sound pulling power, a good pulling power, that you can actually use to cushion yourself. So
Definitely.
definitely. So, when applying for life insurance, is there a difference from one company to another? Because like,
Well,
some
it
people
depends.
say it's similar. They say like everything, every company's the same. They really don't have any different policies and things of that nature.
That's not true. Every company, there's only two types of life insurance: whole life or term. And then there's subcategories. Okay? All right. So now, the question is finance. Okay? Where are you financially?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now there's some companies that would lend you up to 60 times your salary. They'll insure you for up to 60 times your income. There's some companies will be less. Okay. There's some companies require medical insurance over $250,000. There's some companies carry all the way to $750,000, and you don't need a medical. Okay. The companies that carry you over $250,000 for medical insure you from the cradle, and their policy run from the cradle to the grave. So from the time you're born to age 100, you're insurable with that type of company. Okay. The other company, um, most term companies, is either 5 year, 10 year, 15, 25, 30, and there's very few 40-year companies. There's a specific term. The problem with that is if you die after the term, what do you have? Nothing. But if you die within the term, the contract stands based on the face value of agreement. And life insurance is a agreement between two,
That's right. Between the
company
parties.
and you.
That's right. That's correct. Hold on 1 second for my next question. 1 second. Yes. Yes. So, that was really interesting because I did speak to somebody not too long ago, and they were saying like, every policy is every company is the same and things of the nature. And I was like, nah, I don't really think so. So I actually did want to speak to you about that because people are under the misconception that it doesn't matter where you go. Life insurance is just life insurance, and that's not really true. And I'm happy that you expounded on that. My next question would be, could you explain? And I'm actually going to a whole nother topic. It's actually dealing with annuities now. So we're actually going to touch on annuities real brief. Can you explain why annuities are important? Right now, why should people actually invest in annuities or even look into what annuities have to offer?
Okay. Annuities, there are different types of annuities. Okay. There are different type of annuities. And there are five major categories of annuities: fixed annuity, variable annuity, fixed index annuity, immediate and deferred annuity. You have to determine which is the best one for you.
That's
And
right.
the best one for you have to look at several variables. One, you have to look at income goals. What goals are you looking to achieve and when? What age and amount? Okay. You have to look at your risk orientation.
Mm-hmm.
Risk orientation. Okay. And then most importantly, and I don't think I stress this enough, there are different risks for different type of annuities. There are different risks for different type of annuities. So you need to know what risk you're willing to take.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you a quick scenario. A fixed annuity has low risk. Okay.
Got you.
An index annuity has moderate risk. and a variable annuity have high risk. Okay?
So it
The
depends on where you're at.
depends on what your tolerance levels are. That's what determines which one you want to get into. Because a fixed annuity pays at a fixed rate. It's fixed. An index annuity pays based on the volume of an external index. Volume of an external index. And a variable annuity, yeah, you
Hmm.
actually own the investment inside the account. So when it goes up, your money goes up, or when it goes down, so is your money also. So you have to know what kind of risk you're willing to take in order to satisfy those needs.
Definitely, that's definitely really good. If you want to, get more in depth with it, always reach out to Gene. He's gonna actually explain that to you and let you know how you can actually protect yourself in the future, 10, 15, 20 years down the line with just one annuity, right? And really understanding that you have the income, instead of buying cars and things of that nature, a lot of perishables or liabilities, you'd actually use that income into actually purchasing assets such as annuities, life insurance. Those things are assets. You already talked about that one. My next question would be, what is your advice to new investors going into life insurance or annuities?
Right. New investors. Okay. When you say new investors, are you talking about people on an investment platform, or are you speaking about people that want to invest in themselves?
Yeah, people that's investing in themselves. Yeah, people that's actually really starting to take initiative for who they are, what direction their lives going in, and how to basically frame, the structure of their lives are actually moving forward.
Well, the first thing I would tell them is to join me on Facebook, Gene Byass on Facebook, and join me every Tuesday from 7 to 9, where I give the financial, where we have the financial talk. Tuesday from 7
Sorry.
to 9. No feedback, where we having the financial talk, okay, and they
Mm-hmm.
can hear what I'm teaching in terms of that. On an individual note, they can contact me at 1-855-411-0424. That's 855-411-0424, and book an appointment with me on
You said
Facebook.
855
411
411
0424.
0424. I just shared it with the audience live. If anybody need it, the number's right there live for you. Reach out to Gene or reach out to me um, to actually get your needs, get everything done, or actually protect your family and move
That's
forward.
right.
This is a really, I do a lot of different podcasts and talk about different things, and even me being in the community, dealing with a lot of different social justice issues and going into Albany and dealing with a lot of different politics and advocates. I see that this is a time right now of protecting the human man, protecting humanity. We can't be so focused on accumulating things as opposed to actually protecting ourselves and uplifting humanity. I just met Gene, and Gene and I, we always talk about developing, we always talk about building one up as men, being responsible and accountable to one another as men. And in the same notion, being accountable to your family, to your loved ones, but also to yourself. You can do so many things for so many different people, but when are you going to do things for yourself and protect yourself in a deadly time like this? You got wars going on, famines going on, all type of diseases going on, and senseless crimes and murders and things, and the train station and different things, all over the world. And I think this is a time really to really focus and see, what you have to offer to yourself, that's out here, and find a way not to plummet and fall, because I see so many men sleep on the streets, so many women sleep on the streets, and it's really a hurtful feeling to see those things, and it pulls out my heart when I see a lot of those things. So this is the reason why Gene and I do things like this. We do podcasts. Why Gene has his own radio show. That's every what's that, Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday night.
Tuesday night from
Every
7 to 9
Tuesday night from
p.m.
7 to 9. You know what I'm saying? The Black Billionaire Network. You can reach out to that network as well to reach out to Gene. You also can find him on Facebook,
Twitter.
Instagram, Twitter, and all the different other type of platforms. So my next question was this, and maybe many people might think about this, but what is the best form of life insurance, or is there such thing as the best form of life insurance?
No, there's only two forms of life insurance: whole life and term. Okay,
Okay.
so let me get it with you. Okay, there's only two forms of life insurance: it's a whole life or a term. Whole life or universal life insurance. Okay, those are permanent policies. Those policy goes until age 100. Okay, a term policy, it's a term policy. It goes for a specific time, a specific length of time. Yeah.
That's right.
When choosing the two, you have to consider how long you want coverage for. Okay, how long you want coverage for, the purpose for the coverage, and I'll get into that in a second, and how much you want to pay. Okay, those are the basic needs and wants list that we go over. Okay, now the question is, do you want an insurance, a term insurance that has a lot of coverage that you can afford? Now, for the younger people, 20, 26, 25, they can get a 30-year term for $25, like we heard last, like $26, pennies,
Pennies.
for $750,000 in coverage. And the company, even though they give you $750,000 in coverage for 20, call it $27 for a good number. The sliding scale up and down. Okay, max at $27. The company will give you a double indemnity. So now you don't have $750,000, you have $1.5 million. Should you have an accident, okay, or should you become disabled or die,
That's right.
okay, you have that money. It's your money for what we said about the minimum wage is now what, $15 an hour.
Yeah, I think
So
it's
just
15.
under 2 hours of work per month, 2 hours of your work per month. Under that,
Yeah. Yeah.
or a different way and say 30 minutes per week of your job for the 4 weeks pays your life insurance for the whole month for you to get coverage. So why don't you have coverage? Do you know when you're gonna die?
I don't think
What are
so.
you leaving your loved ones to do if something happens to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so there's an old saying says if you fail to plan, you have to plan to fail.
That's correct.
Okay, and planning ahead is very important. So by having a term life insurance, and that's a term life insurance. Now let's get into whole life. Whole life insurance is a little bit more expensive, but a whole life insurance is a permanent insurance. As long as you're making those premiums, that insurance is in force. Okay, that's one. Two, that same whole life policy, there's programs out there that allow you to save a ton of money in that policy. The 7 pay premium. You
Yeah.
can overfund the policy, you can underfund the policy. You can they give you a basic number, $40 a month, $80 a month, whatever you qualify for.
Yeah.
But you could put in thousands of dollars per month. You can put in thousands of dollars per year. That it could generate a great income for you when you retire, when you most need money. You have that money there for you. You can set a 5-year plan. You can set a 10-year plan. You can set a 20-year plan. These things are there for you. But the policy of itself does not lose its value because you take money out from it. It's your money. So if you look at it as a compulsory saving, the way I look at mine and the ones I have for my children, I have it for all my children, is a compulsory savings for my children. So whether it's $40 or $500 per month, I am saving that money towards my children' future. So when they're ready to get their first car, when they're ready to buy their first home, when they're ready to get married, don't look at me, don't ask me about my savings, don't ask me what I'm contributing, don't get an attitude with me. I tell you, I've been paying your policy, baby. Here it is. Go do your thing. I can afford to say that because I have provided a vehicle for them to be better off economically than the average parent that did not leave a provision or make a provision for their children using the life insurance vehicle.
Using life insurance vehicle. So using life insurance vehicle, you can make a provision actually for your children in the future. So a lot of things they want to, get involved with, they have capital. They have the whole life insurance. They can actually pull from it. They can do, different investments and things of that nature. So you'll put them in a better position. So basically, from what we talked about earlier, that life insurance is not a death benefit; it's a life benefit. So
Right.
when we look at life insurance, yes.
Well, the life insurance, sorry, have the death benefit element of it.
That's correct.
Okay,
That's correct.
and that's paid on death, but it also have a disability element to it. Okay, which is called the living benefit. You're still alive when you got a heart attack. You're still alive when you got stroke. You got cancer, ALS. You're still alive. You're not dead because you had those. A major organ transplant. Diabetes. You go blind. Okay, paralysis of 2 or more limbs. Okay, those are critical illness in the insurance world, and that would pay up to 90% of the policy of the value of your policy. So if you have a $750,000 policy, 675,000 or thereabouts, you have to live on. You can restart. You can readjust.
Yeah, you can get your life back in order.
You can get your life back together. Same as if you have a chronic illness or you become terminally ill with an expectation by diagnosed, a licensed physician, giving the insurance company the notion that you're not going to live for more than 12 months. Okay, now you may get that money tomorrow after getting that diagnosis today. You may get that money tomorrow and decide, look, I'm going, I don't know, here to get this miracle drug.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't have to pay back that money. It's your money.
That's right.
The life insurance, oh well. And then after you get that money, you come back to me and we get you another policy because the miracle drug worked, and then you'll always be covered.
Look at that. There's a way to do it. That's correct.
And people don't understand, and I enjoy sharing this part about life insurance and protection. A lot of people don't understand that you can have cancer, go into remission. There's many different policies as long as you're over the age 50 that many companies out there will guarantee issue you. So regardless of your diabetes or your blood pressure, your heart attack, or your cancer, any of the big ones, there are companies out there that can cover you, and it's not for a lot of money based on your budget.
Awesome. Definitely a good thing to know. Well, I have two more questions. My next question would be, could you use life insurance to create a business?
Yes, 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 yes. A whole life policy, have create builds up cash. Okay,
Hmm.
it builds up cash, and what you do with it, the cash value in the policy is totally up to you. So I'm going to give you known statistics on that. Most people, if not everyone, knows about J.C. Penney. James Cash Penney, okay, opened the company J.C. Penney from his cash value. He accumulated massive wealth inside his cash value life insurance policy and was able to borrow against it to help the company stay afloat during the Great Depression and the 1929 market crash.
Mm,
Walt Disney. Everybody loved to go to Florida, have fun in the sun, and go to Disney. Walt Disney, from automated pictures, theme park and attraction that most of us would enjoy, have did it with his life insurance.
mm,
Okay?
okay.
Then there's a name that some people know. I think everybody know. Ray Rock. Or some pronounce it Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc is the sole owner, after 6 years of being in business, bought out the McDonald brothers by taking money from his cash value life insurance. Now we like a McDonald burgers, and the little ones know it well. They know
Correct.
that double arches.
That's correct.
Yeah?
That's
Well,
correct.
those double arches got there from life insurance.
Yes.
Okay? Foster Farm. They borrowed money in 1939 against their life insurance policy and invested in 80 acres of farm in California to raise turkey and chicken. Today, they employ over 10,000 employees and sell products across the globe. Cash value life insurance.
That's value life insurance.
But I'm going to tell you, I got one that's going to hit you below the belt. Leland and Jane Stanford lost their son to typhoid fever, and they wanted to be able to have something in memory of him that would look for treatment, for a cure. They
Okay.
have funded in 1891, in as far back as 1891, the first 555 students enrolled in Stanford University.
Mm,
They took their money out, and when Stanford University was in financial stress, they took the money out of their life insurance to bail it out. Everyone knows about Tupperware. Anyone that tells me they don't know about Tupperware, they're either really, really, really too young and need to consult with their parent. But Doris Christopher, the founder of Tupperware is now a billion-dollar company with over 12 million customers. Pamper Chef. Where did she get her money from? Using her cash value policy, she funded her first inventory. Okay, so yes, there's also million more that have done it. Okay, there are banks, corporations, and numerous of businesses that own cash value life insurance. So it might be new to what is called John Public,
That's
but
right.
it's not a new tool.
I had an interesting conversation today. I went to my daughter's school to speak to her briefly. While I was there, I ran into a young man that just got hired as a parent-teacher coordinator, and this guy, we just started talking, and I asked him what he do. He said, "Yeah, he do workshops. He do some trainings. He allowed men to come into the school and present, their strengths and their talents and stuff like that." And he said something very interesting. He says that he actually started a support group of fathers, um, and he had like 10 fathers, and every week the fathers would come and put in like $2 or $5, something like that, in the kitty for like a whole year, and so they can accumulate money for real estate property. He said he's actually able to accumulate a property with 10 other brothers, 10 other fathers, men, um, with that small little method they was using, $1, $5, they all came together, bought their first property. Now they actually looking at the equity to branch out and create more properties. And what you was just talking about, it gave me an idea as far as like, five men or five women, people, family members having this whole life insurance policy with the cash value, and actually extracting that cash value and actually building businesses together, and getting property and land and things of that nature, instead of just waiting for the policy to just, for you to die and then a policy pay you out. Use that policy in real time, while you're living, to, for the betterment of your own life and those that actually are around you.
I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. This is what I tell everyone. This is my easy spiel.
Yeah.
My easy spiel is take out a life insurance that you can afford, bare bone minimum. Bare bone minimum.
Bare
What
bone.
you
That's
can
right.
afford. Let's look at it in 2 years.
Mm,
Let's see what you have done with your tax return, refund, and what the life insurance have done for you. Now,
mm.
if you take that refund and dump it into that life insurance every year, once a year, whatever your refund is, whether it's $2,500 or $10,000, you dump it into your life insurance. That money was already collected by the IRS, and they're giving it back to you. It's money you did not have.
That's correct.
Why don't you save that money towards your financial future? Today you can work. Today you have the strength, the energy. And I don't know about you, Nathan, and I don't mean to be derogatory to you, but
Yeah, yeah.
old guys like myself, we have to think about the future because bones are starting to hurt. There's not enough time in the night to sleep
That's correct. That's
because we
correct.
have the pressures of life
That's right.
upon us.
We have life
Okay,
that depends on us. That's correct. That's correct.
so we have to be able to look at things in those perspectives and think about what we're doing. Adidas and Nike and all those companies. I heard about the new one today, Nice. All those companies have made their money and they will continue to make money.
That's correct.
The Tommy Hilfigers, the
All
Fubus,
of them.
All of them.
They
Okay.
established entities. Yeah, they established.
But guess what? What about me? Me first. When are we going to get to me?
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah,
Yes.
that's correct. That's correct. When we're going to get to the, because I have four children that I brought in the land. I have two older sons. One of my sons is, I would say, was 28. My other son is basically, like, I would say, 26. And I constantly find myself talking to them about building blocks amongst men, right? Because it's a misconception that because I'm their parent, that they don't have to build with me, you know what I mean, as a man, right? They can go and they can build with strangers and people they don't know, but me as a man, they don't have to build with me and they don't have to cultivate me in the way that they want me to cultivate them. And I think that's, unfortunate in a way because we as men, regardless if you call yourselves, your son or the uncle or the grandfather, whatever it may be, we are responsible and accountable for one another in these times. And it's a very sad thing to see a man fall. Not too long ago, I would say a year ago, I ran into this Arab guy, and every time I see him, he's on the corner. He asks me for $1, $2, or whatever, and I give it to him. I say, "Hey, brother, here you go. If you want something to eat, I buy him something to eat, and we'll talk about different things." But I didn't indulge upon him when I first met him. I waited probably like a month or two to get to know him. Asking like, "What's going on with you? Like, what's your story? Like, why you here?" I say, "You look strong. You look healthy. Look vibrant. Why are you here on this corner? Why are you asking for change? Why? What has gotten you to this point?" And he stated that he had an accident. He was a master welder. He used to make over 200,000 a year, and he went to work one time drunk, and he went to work drunk, and he split his hand, you know, and lost his whole career.
My God.
And my wife and I, we were just so, I would say empathetic, towards this man. We didn't know him; he's not of our culture, whatever. But at the end of the day, he's a man, he's a being, and we felt his journey. We felt what he was going through, and he was speaking. Say, before I injured my hand, I was making 200,000 a year. I treated myself every week to a steak dinner, to seafood dinners. To some of the most beautiful women in the world. I would go rent cars out and do different things to enjoy myself. And he said he did this every week. He said he would make sure that his family was okay because he was the breadwinner. He would give them resources and stuff like that to make sure they could pay their light bill and enjoy themselves and things of that nature. And I remember him saying to me one day, I would just come out of the block and he called me. And there was two incidents that happened. He said one was, "Yo, come and talk to me." I said, "Yeah, sure." He said, "Well, I want you to listen to this call. I'm gonna call my mother." And I was like, "Well, I really don't want to get involved with, your personal business like that." And he was like, "Well, not really, but I really want you to see what's going on with me." So he called his mother in front of me. He said, "Hey, mom." He said, "Oh, how you doing, my son?" And he said, "I'm hungry. I want something to eat." And she said, "You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here." And hung the phone up. And I saw it in his spirit. I saw it in his eyes, like, wow, man, like what, what's going on? He's out here. He's alone. He's stuck, and he has no avenue of release. And then I saw him again, and he said, "Yo, I just saw my uncle." He was super excited. He said, "I saw my uncle. My uncle. When I was making a lot of money, I used to look out for him all the time and make sure he was okay and stuff like that." And I said, "So how did it go?" And he said, "Yo, man, I'm just ready to give up." And I'm like, "What happened?" He said, "Well, I saw my uncle. He was driving. He pulled up on me while I was asking for change. He pulled out a stack of money where he's talking to me, and he gave me $10, and he jumped back in his car and he drove off." And when he said that to me, he was defeated. And a week later, too, I was looking for him, and he actually on that same strip actually had a heart attack and died.
No.
Yes, yes, yes. And it was, and I used to talk to him like, yo, you used to be a master welder. Won't you become, an instructor of welding? But he was so gone, and I think he was just so beaten down by the people that he was there for, the people that he took care of and looked out for when he was prominent, wasn't there for his back when he needed them the most, and it took the life out of him. And I only say that to say this is that we have energy that's in us that we have to share one another and build one another up, and never forget those that was there for you, in your times, what I mean, and never watch and see men fall. And I think by bringing these resources together, as far as life insurance, our mindsets, our values and our goals and our visions, we be able to build building blocks that will be fundamental for us to stand on as men when we're in our 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and thereafter, and not be broken men and land sleeping on sidewalks and stuff like that because we're not being increased, by the entities of one another. And I've been seeing the challenges out here with men staying alone and men are just not, have no footing and no backbone. And it's really concerning times. But the avenue that you're using and the methodology you're talking about, we can actually turn things around and really start doing some things with the investments that we're actually already doing, which is life insurance and annuities, and actually, change the trajectory of our lives. And I just actually wanted to share that story because it really, what you were saying, it brought it back to me. And I actually wanted to share that story because every man believes that he's invincible until he falls, right? And that was, a harsh reality for me to see that man fall because I never made $200,000 a year in my life. I don't know what it is to make $200,000 per year and live on that level. But this man experienced that for many, many years. But at the end of it all, he had no backbone. He had no life insurance. He had no men or women behind him to comfort him from the fall. And when he fell alone. And that was something that, really stuck with me. And I think I remember that story or that situation and that man for the rest of my life.
Well, I will say this, Nathan. It's very tragic that he passed, and in that situation, it's very tragic. And my heart goes out to him and anyone that cares and love him. But a long time ago, I learned something. Okay, a very long time ago, I learned something, and it's this Psalms, the book of Psalms 73, chapter 26. It goes as follows: My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is my strength of my heart, my portion forever. My flesh and my heart falleth, but God is the strength of my heart.
That's right. That's true. And that's really profound.
It is. And I live by those words every day. And I'm telling you that when you put your confidence and faith, your whole confidence and faith in flesh, flesh fails you. I put it into the man above, to the
The
Most
man
High,
above. That's
to
correct.
God the Father. And I would say this to you, Nathan. I believe wholeheartedly that everyone that has an income should pick up the phone and call me or call you or send you a message or send me a message as long as they have an income. To get a life insurance, you have to start somewhere. I sure there's at least 100 people that would listen to this podcast that does not have coverage. It's a problem.
Yes.
And they need coverage to protect their family, not themselves alone, but their family, their loved ones. Especially, most importantly, to maintain their dignity and pride should they become disabled. And that story that you give is very profound. It's very ironic And you hear these stories time and time
Time
again.
again, that's correct.
Whereas people had good jobs but failed to plan.
That's right. That's right.
They weren't given the proper direction, and that's why I've decided to go on the Black Billionaire, the Billionaire Network,
Network, yeah, yeah.
and do the Tuesday nights from 7 to 9 Eastern. Okay, that's why I do the Facebook Live
That's
to
right.
educate people, to make people more aware. Statistics show that an insurance agent or an insurance broker was a black guy, was a white guy, sorry. Okay? It was something that was mostly done by the Caucasian community. Okay? Uh, of middle age, he has to be over 50 to work in the field. I'm not 50 yet.
That's right.
Okay? And I'm here trying to educate and help people, point them in a direction where they can be able to flourish, to be able to leave some sort of legacy. It doesn't have to be big, but it's a legacy for your loved ones, protecting your loved ones. It don't have to be a lot, but it's a legacy. It's what you could afford. It's easier to say, I can afford this, and that's what he could afford or she could afford, than spectatory. He was working and he made no provisions for a day like today.
That's right.
Okay, so we have to look at stuff like that. We have to take care and look at the big picture and understand where we are, what we're doing, and know how we're moving forward. Because it's very important that we take care of our loved ones, we take care of the unforeseen, which is death and disability, okay? Long term care when we get sick, when we get
Yeah.
older, what happens?
And
So,
this, yeah, I hear you.
yeah. So we have to be able to take care of these things, look at it, and be sure to know how we're going to handle it. Okay. So when we're making provisions for our families, people says, okay, I have a child. Okay. So what does that
Hmm.
mean to me? Children don't get sick. They do.
Yeah, they do.
Children don't
Yeah,
die. They do. Do you understand what I'm saying?
that's
What
right.
provisions are you making for that family?
That's correct.
You want to buy a house, yeah, but you don't have a cash value life insurance that you can use to pay the down payment on that house, to pay the closing costs for that house. How do you get that structure? When do you start? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what we got to look at. When do
You
you
gotta,
start? When do you
and when do
start
you start?
planning for
That's
the
right.
future?
And the sooner you start, the better for you.
The sooner the
Going
better,
down the
because the
line.
younger you
Yeah,
are, you're insurable. The older
yeah.
you get, you become uninsurable.
And they
You
get
have to
higher
move
and higher and higher and
insurability.
higher and higher and higher. So you don't want to spend $100 a month in life insurance. It would discourage you. You know what I mean? For the average person, especially in my urban community, they have to pay $100 in life insurance. They be like, forget that. You know what I mean? But if you're
Of
able to
course,
pay 40 or 30, it's doable. If you're able to pay 20 while you're 21 and 22, then it's doable, right? So don't wait to the last minute to actually start to protect your own life, and those that surround you that you actually say that you actually care about, And I think that because we know that, you were just speaking about, yeah, we just speaking
yeah,
about, having faith, and having and trust in the Most High and stuff like that. But also, I look at it too as if the Most High didn't want us to, assist each other and build each other up, then we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't even know each other. What I mean? We wouldn't even recognize each other. So I think that, yeah, we do give power, to the power that be, but we also must, empower ourselves. And when we look at our history and a lot of our ancestors and stuff like that created historical events and stuff like that, we see that they had backbone. We see that they had, structure behind them in principles, and we have to be of the same cut, in these times. So
Yes, sir.
I do have this last question, and then I want you to close out. And I basically it's what we already talked about, but what is a costly mistake concerning life insurance?
What is
What is a costly mistake, concerning life insurance?
a costly mistake in life insurance is either not having it is number one,
Number
not
one.
having it, or not having enough of it.
There you go.
Okay? Not having it and not having enough of it. Because remember, things and times are changing. Inflation, we have no control over it. So we need to have sufficient to cover in case there's a loss.
That's
In
correct.
case of premature expiration, there's coverage there for your family, your loved ones, and your dependents.
And your
Because
dependents
you have to remember your dependents because
that's
they
correct.
are financially dependent on you.
On you,
And
yeah, they
if you
need you.
don't have
They need you.
a vehicle for them, what are they going to do in your absence? And that's what a lot of people don't think about. What happens in your absence?
Yeah, that's right, and
So
that's important.
it's very, very important, and I'm passionate about it. I want everyone to know that having a policy is very important. Some people say that it costs and they can do other things with their money. Yes, you can. I'm sure you can until something happens when you most need it. So by hearing this, you are enlightened as to what it can do for you. It does not only cover you for death, it covers you for disability, it covers you for illnesses, and you're able to do for yourself and family, to
That's
protect
right.
yourself and family.
That's right. Sorry, I'm going to do something real quick. Yeah, so just close out real quick. Gene, any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are it does not life insurance does not cost, it pays. And
Mm-hmm.
a compulsory savings of annuity in an annuity prepares you for your retirement and allow you to leave a legacy for your family in the time of a loss. Equally so, if you become disabled, there is coverage that you can have. There is coverages that can take care of yourself and family. You can bring the coverage goes as deep as you can bring the nurse into your home, or you can
Mm-hmm.
bring the hospice into your home and be treated with the dignity and pride that you would like or would desire to have in the time of illness while
That's
you're
right.
still alive. So it doesn't only pay when you die. Gone are the days when life insurance only pay while you die.
Awesome. And the last one, because you said the number was 855-411.
0424.
0424. So that's the number, guys, that you can actually use to reach out to Gene. I put it here briefly about to close out, but you can actually see this number here. Reach out to Gene, reach out to me through the profile, and get things, in order, just for if you have any questions, just call for a question. You don't have to like, I'm gonna sign up as soon as I call, you have any questions, any concerns, concerns with a policy you already have, because Gene also deals with converting over policies and things of that nature. So you have a
Right.
lot of options actually dealing with Gene and Byass. And I'm happy that we had this interview, this discussion. And I look forward to doing this definitely again, Gene. It was a pleasure having you.
Pleasure is
And
mine. Pleasure is mine.
and with that, enjoy your night and good night. And blessings to everybody that signed in. And be well. Reach out if there's any questions you have, any concerns. We're here to help. Good
Thank you
night.
very much. Thank you, Nathan.
Good night.
Right.